And in this video, I'm going to show you 7 things that self-taught graphic designers don't know they're missing by choosing not to go to college. Let's dive right into the lesson. So, do you need a degree to be successful? This conversation becomes increasingly popular when society praises guys like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, praises people like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Mark Zuckerberg, and David Dobrik for becoming widely successful despite dropping out of school. And if you have hopes to becoming a lawyer or a surgeon, bypassing a formal education isn't really an option. But if you dream of being a designer, you'll eventually ask the question sooner or later, is a graphic design degree necessary? The honest answer is no. It's not necessary. There are scores of self-taught graphic designers who have launched careers without a formal education. But there are several overlooked advantages of acquiring a degree. We spoke with a handful of other graphic designers with degrees who insist their formal education has played an instrumental role in their careers. Our panel of pros revealed 7 things they never have acquired without earning their degree. Seven things self-taught designers commonly miss out on. There is no shortage of graphic design tutorials out there that teach you standard tech software skills. But our experts agree that there are several important intangibles that self-taught graphic designers commonly lack. So, before we dive into the 7 things self-taught graphic designers don't know they're missing, be sure to smash that subscribe button and that like button. And don't forget, we post videos every Monday and we go live every Wednesday. All here to help you build your influence and impact in the design world faster, so you can build a successful design firm faster. So let's dive into those 7 things that self-taught graphic designers don't know they're missing. 1. Graphic design history and the fundamentals. Believe it or not, graphic design has been around longer than Adobe software. Yes, some people call themselves designers just because they can navigate their way around Photoshop. Knowing the history of the craft and mastering basic design concepts helps you build a solid foundation on which to build your entire career. Self-taught designers are generally looking for which buttons to push to get the job done, rather than learning from the ground up with design principles, says Ashley Scotchwachu, creative director at the Security Awareness Company. She says she can often pinpoint self-taught graphic designers based solely on their portfolios because of their blatant disregard for basic design fundamentals. Then number 2, freedom to fail. The one thing I took from granted the, the one thing I took for granted most in college was the freedom to fail, and to fail spectacularly, says Victor NG, designer at Pinterest. Failures in the real world result in dollars lost. Customers agreed and brand no, customers angered and brand sentiments tarnished. But in school, the worst outcome is a bad grade and a bruised ego. NG says he's grateful for the opportunity he had to be experimental with his designs in college. He was able to worry less about the finished product and focus more on the actual process, which helped him develop into the professional he is today. A graphic design college allows you to fail without worry of losing money or your job or clients. College will help you learn better and faster so that you won't fail in the working force, in the future. Then the third thing graphic designers don't know they're missing by not going to college is the proper treatment of files, which is really important. The one thing I took for granted most in college was the freedom. Number 3, proper treatment of files. Many self-taught designers are unaware of how to properly set up clean files for professional printing, says graphic designer Anita Magana. Design courses will teach you when to use a JPEG versus a PNG versus a TIFF. You'll also learn the difference between bitmap files and vector files, and how to properly check files for color and CMYK separations before sending them to print. I constantly have to fix files from the previous designer at my company who had no formal training, says David Block, entrepreneur and seasoned graphic designer. He frequently encounters files that have no regard to bleeds, improper image sizing, and inconsistent margins. All things claims a properly trained designer would never do. Which we don't, because that is part of one class that I took in college to learn all that. And number 4, presentation skills. Being able to present your designs to someone, whether it's your art director or a client, can be really daunting because it carries with it the fear factor of public speaking, says Jennifer Aont, dean of the Rasmussen College School of Design. Practice, practice, practice is the best way to master the art of presenting your work, Ault says. She says the ability to confidently articulate the rationale behind your color choices, font selections, art elements, and overall layout is a sign of a true professional. Formally educated designers have plenty of opportunity to perfect their presentation skills in order to stand out when it really counts. Then the fifth thing self-taught graphic designers don't know they're missing is how to critique and feedback. It takes a lot of practice to not take criticism personally, says designer Andrew. In a cutthroat industry like graphic design, it's important to have thick skin. He says behind being able to talk about design objectively helped him advance his vocabulary and detach himself from his work. NG says his college critiques simulate real work environment where people often have strong opposing views. He describes the evolution that occurs between freshman and senior year, the time frame during which students go from saying, "Is this good?" to "tear this apart." His formal education taught him to grow from the negative feedback rather than dwell on it. In graphic design, it is cutthroat, and you can't take criticism personally. You just have to brush it off and take it and learn it. Because graphic design is cutthroat. You are fighting for jobs and you are fighting for improvement from your creative directors so that you get put on top and grow. Faster you learn that, the faster you will become a great graphic designer. Then number 6 is perspective. Graphic design is all about solving problems. It's not often that you have the opportunity to be surrounded by individuals who are just as passionate as you are about design. In its most basic form, graphic design is about solving problems. The beauty the beauty of this is no two designs will solve the problem in identical ways. It's uncommon in a professional setting to have dozens of peers in the same room working on the same thing in drastically different ways, Lee says. He adds that each project is a lesson in perspective. Rather, it results in idea envy or disdain. A look can be learned from being surrounded by designers from different backgrounds, motivations, and talents. Then number 7, make sure you network, which I've said in numerous videos and numerous live streams. You should always network and build that communication. One of the biggest advantages that design graduates have over self-taught designers is the alumni network. According to NG, he explains that many design companies recruit from universities their employees attended. Most design schools also organize events bringing employers to campus to connect with students. Lee says that finding others who share your passion can pay in the long run. He says those kinds of people tend to stick together and are willing to help each other out down the road. You will inevitably run into the same people, and there's no telling where they'll end up, Lee adds. So don't miss out. Our experts have made it obvious that there is a lot to gain by earning a degree in graphic design. That being said, they also agreed that the formal education is merely the starting point, where every great designer must become self-taught after graduation, because the industry is always evolving. Unlike self-taught graphic designers, I can say without a doubt that I didn't miss out on anything by going to college, says Lee. Take his word for it. It's time to take your graphic design career to the next level. If you're ready to ditch the tutorials and become a true professional, then go to college. Because there, they will provide everything you need to become a great graphic designer. Now, let's jump into some Q&A. So, the first question. Are there graphic design jobs in the market today? If there is a field that you are almost guaranteed to get a job in today, is graphic design. Companies and institutions all over the world need digital content, now more than ever. This means that they are in desire. Means they are in dire need of graphic designers. Masters that master the skill well enough, and I can guarantee you there are millions of jobs out there. Especially right now during the pandemic, graphic designers, the position is skyrocketing because businesses need graphic designers to send out the word and advertise their businesses that they're working to keep everyone safe. So graphic design is skyrocketing right now. So, another question. How much does a graphic designer earn? This is the other common question concerning graphic design, is about the pay. Well, in America, depending on where you are working, you can make as much as $2,000 a month working as a part-time designer. This is just an average figure because I know of people making as much as $100,000 a year off graphic design. It certainly pays, but it just depends on where you are in the world and in the country. Next question. Where can I work in the USA as a graphic designer? So, there are very many places in the USA that you can work as a graphic designer. You can opt to work as a freelance designer, looking for online gigs and referrals, or opt on being hired by a company and work in-house with them. The media industry in America is the prime area to work in, and you certainly won't miss an opportunity here. So, another question. So, as a beginner, what should be my design rates? How should I charge my clients for pieces of art? So, you have learned the skills and probably landed your first gig in graphic design. How much should you charge your client for the work? Well, remember, it is a side hustle, and you need to earn something reasonable from it, but don't go a step too far in a bid to make extra cash to use in college. Depending on the complexity of the job and the number of hours spent doing the piece, $20 an hour should be a good pick up price. Produce great, satisfactory content, and the rates can get better with time. With me, when I first started out, I charged $25. Yeah, $25 an hour for the pieces I worked on. So, a couple more questions, and then we'll end this live stream. What are some of the must-have softwares for graphic design? Which I've said in numerous videos and I've said in numerous live streams. The Adobe package, mainly Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, and After Effects. Those are the three, oh, and InDesign. Those are the four most design softwares that you will use in the industry. And maybe Premiere Pro if you're editing videos. But it's mainly just those four. Because Photoshop allows you to edit photos, and Illustrator helps you create graphics, and then After Effects allows you to create graphics, motion graphics. If you're going into motion and the TV side of graphic design. Next question. Do I need to have knowledge in code to become a graphic designer? And this is another common question, which I even had when I first started out in graphic design. And realistically, nowadays you really don't need it, but it is a nice thing to have on your resume. But nowadays you really don't need to know code because there are so many web-based platforms that allows drag and drop web design software like Weebly or Google Sites. So, which is how I create my websites, is through Google Sites. Because with Google Sites, you can actually embed code into it, which makes it a lot easier, but it also has the drag and drop features. So one more question, and we'll call it a stream. So this question, like I've said previously, really irritates me. So, is it a good idea to work for free just to get some experience in graphic design? No. You should never work for free. Rather, if it's just to build a portfolio or just to get experience. You should never devalue your work, especially if you're spending thousands of dollars to go to college. Because why would you spend money to learn everything you need to work in the field just to charge for free? The logic in that doesn't make sense. And like I've said, and I've done videos, if you want to build a portfolio, make up companies, make up brands. If you need some ideas, I've done a video on one of my employees' portfolios, which I can link down in the description again, or you can just go to my channel and search it. It's, I think, titled My Portfolio. All of that were made up companies that we did complete brand packages for, where we designed the logo and then we plastered that logo, or no, we create the logos and then we create brand packages for each logo with ads, and then we had mock-ups for the packaging of each product. That's all you need to build a portfolio. And if it's easier, then just find some brands that you really like and redesign their brand packaging and logos. That's all you have to do. There's no reason to work for free, because that devalues all of us in the graphic design field. Because why would one client have you do stuff for free and then go to another graphic designer who charges? You may get them to come back, but they're never going to pay for any of your work. Because why would they do one thing for free and then they come back to you and expect to pay? That may have been a little bit of a ramble, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And let's call that a stream. So, thank you for joining me for another lesson. If you got value, then consider subscribing to the channel and smash that notification bell so you get notified every week when we post a new video that will help you build your influence and impact in the design world faster, so you can build a successful design firm faster, so you can start living on your own terms. And every Wednesday, I do a new lesson, just like this one. So loads of value on this channel. So be sure to smash that subscribe button and that like button. And share this video with someone you think you'll give a lot of value to. All the buttons are right next to each other. Right down there. And we will see you next week. Bye.